Alright. What's going on, X? Formerly known as Twitter. So I'm gonna make a video here, try to talk about it as much as possible. But this is mainly gonna be a bit of a S&P, some Nasdaq outperforming sectors, just some market update basically, right? That's what's gonna be. To open June, last month of the first half of 2024. So yeah, I'll look at the chart a little bit. I'll talk about some flow that looks relevant to me, and we'll go from there. First of all, S&P 500, the SPX. A few things that are pretty interesting to see here. On the weekly, we obviously had, looking at the daily, kind of important first of all, we had a pretty green day on Friday, right? As I talked about on X as well, kind of not to fight against the bulls in June OPEX, because you just got a lot of flows and a lot of supporting bullish flows from bulls. Even put buyers and spreads kind of took profits pretty quick throughout the week. So it felt like after the long weekend that we had, into the after the short week that was after the long weekend, you had a lot of people basically in a lot of funds closing positions into the long weekend. And then what happens in the short week? You got a new positions open, and since it's a short week, Friday when options expire, you just get a lot of hedging overall, a lot of activity, and again, what we saw is just a pretty big volume day. Looking here, basically the highest volume day we had since March 15th of this year. So that was nice, and a pretty green day as well. Kind of squeezed the bears nicely into end of day. So again, that's everyone can do whatever they want. You can short, you can long, whatever it is, right? For me, I'm playing. That's what we do in the Discord mainly, kind of looking for outperformers, playing sector rotations, and finding either stocks that can outperform for a few months, for a few weeks, for a few days. Again, anyone in their strategy and their style of investing or trading. Now, the S&P 500, I'm saying the reason I wanted to kind of focus on the Friday close is because going back to the weekly, you can see that we had a pretty green week here, right? Beginning May 13th, then a doji, and then this red wick, which obviously formed a hammer candle eventually, after being down 0.5% on the SPX on the week. Without the green day that we had on Friday, this would just give you an evening star. And if you go back here, you can see the same thing that happened, right? You had in March 18th, pretty green day, a green bodied candle that was only up 0.39%, and then another red wick. And even here, beginning April 1st on S&P 500, going back to the daily, this week ended. You remember this big, obviously, day, red day? This was Friday, right? So kind of similar. Friday just saw a lot of, again, options hedging, buyers, whatever it is. You guys know what I think about Fridays in the market overall, especially in this wildly options driven and traded market. But that's what happened, right? We had a pretty green day, 1.1%, that pushed it higher. So again, eventually it did kind of give you, if you neglect the Friday, it gave you an evening star look. And that's why eventually you could see that we did go down for only 2 more weeks, but we did go down lower in the following 2 weeks, you see? So same thing happened here. Friday was pretty green, but still without the Friday of the last 30 minutes, 1 hour of upside, it would have given us an evening star, which is obviously the pattern of big green bodied candle, then another either a doji or a small bodied one, kind of at the top of both candles, and the last one, the third candle, being a red one, which is obviously the opposite of a morning star, which is more of a bullish pattern. Okay, so that's something very important to note and look at and understand, that even though you kind of say, okay, that's a hammer now, it's a hammer only because of Friday. So we still gotta be careful if you're looking at SPX, S&P 500 as a whole. And again, for me personally, I care less about SPX here. I focus on other sectors, which I'll talk about in a second. Now going into Nasdaq, right? And that's pretty important as well, because that's obviously a tech-driven market. And Nasdaq tech, if we're looking at the same 3 weeks that I just talked about in S&P 500, April 1st and the following 2 weeks, you see what happened? Wasn't April 1st. Wait a second. My bad. Yeah, well, that's the 3 red days, same red days. But when we're looking at Nasdaq, it was a bigger red day. And then the evening star that kind of formed on SPX, same thing happened here, right? Same exact thing happened on Nasdaq. And now it's a bit different. Okay, because the week that started on May 20th was 1.4% up. So you did have a lot of inflows. We talked about in the Discord last weekend that this week could be a distributive week for Nasdaq. And indeed, Nasdaq went down, closed the week 1.4% to the downside, while SPX, S&P 500, closed only 0.5%. So we saw more selling, we saw more distribution from Nasdaq and tech. Okay, so again, it did work out this week. What I think gonna happen from here is that we're just gonna see much stronger sector rotations. In my opinion, I really like, obviously, you guys know commodities. I like also emerging markets, but we also talked about energy and utilities a lot in Discord, and those two were actually the top 3 performers on Friday. So that's something to note from here and keep watching into June. Now, Nvidia, which is obviously the freaking beast of the market, and if you guys saw what I posted about Nvidia, that I think it's a bubble, again, I'm not going to talk about it much here, don't have time, but you can check my last post, formerly known as tweet, about it. So I'm going to go to the daily, and we're going to do, where is it? Okay. Nvidia. So on May 30th, which is Thursday, right? Yeah, it was Thursday basically. We saw these dudes. What they did is, I mean, if you look at it right now, it looks like kind of a credit spread, right? But to me, it wasn't credit spread, especially being 47 DT. That's just moving size. And if you open the contract itself, you can also look by open interest. Easy to tell. Open interest only 700. Volume was over 5,400, right? And then open interest went up a day after and over 5,000. So you can tell that's the same player. That's the 1 day. So look even at the 30 days, right? They literally shorted the calls here. Shorted them here, boom. Then Nvidia went down. So there's a reason, obviously, I said what I said. It doesn't mean I think it's wise to short Nvidia. Again, people said it for many months, and all of us eventually said, all of us bulls were right, whether we longed it or not. It's not only about being long or short, right? It's also about understanding when distribution could still lead to more upside, or when accumulation could still lead to more downside, and just, again, trade or invest based on your time frame and your plan. So that's what I'm watching. Obviously, for Nvidia, in my opinion, we're in strong distribution. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, especially with the split being soon. And what they did here, as I've said, is basically shorting the 1130s and closing the 1040s. You see, open interest went down half. Not gonna confuse you much why or how or what could it mean, but again, possibly another market participant just took half of the trade. Still, it's a closing position that they actually shorted here. And that's another thing that's funny to me. I see a lot of people talking on X about some people lose millions of dollars on the big money lose because if they shorted here, right, and spend 40 something million dollars, then they had to buy back at 70 million. No, they don't know what they're talking about. It doesn't work this way. Anyone who rolls this size of 60, 70 million dollars, it's against an underlying stock position. It's just moving size. That's what it is. So it doesn't mean that they lost money. No, what it means is that they're hedged. Their bigger position is actually the underlying stock. So that's just something you want to watch. And everything I'm talking about here is not only because I just watch a lot Nvidia. It's because we watch again in the Discord every day. Semis overall, ETFs, the whole sector. We're going to look at individual stocks. We're going to kind of look at obviously what I talked about, right? Like TSM and MU, the intra-sector rotation in semiconductors overall, and chips, Nvidia and AMD, and all the relationships. AVGO, obviously, SMCI, you know what I mean. Anyways, there is the rotation inside sectors as well. So Nvidia, obviously being the leader and a heck of a company, an amazing company, super strong. They're just growing, like they're crazy. Jensen, good for you, right? They're growing, beautiful numbers every time, beating expectations. Great company, but that's what leads eventually to bubbles. When everyone thinks that it's good and agree that the company is good, but eventually it goes higher. Some people try to short it and they fail. Some people think that they're gonna time top and be a hero, and they keep saying top, top, top. I'm short, I'm short, I'm short, but then they get squeezed, and then one time that they're gonna hit short, they're gonna say that's it. Um, I timed top and delete all the other posts. You guys know what I think about this Fugazi of X Phoenix, formerly known as FinTweet. So yeah, that's where what I think we are at. It could last a few more months, that distribution, but that's definitely what I think we're at. The split gonna be 10 for 1 on June 10th. And another trade that was pretty interesting on Nvidia, besides this roll, that again they short 1130s. It doesn't mean it can't go higher on July OPEX. It just means that they're slowly positioning for possible distribution, right? That's definitely how I read it. And we want to keep reading it. That's how it works. Markets are dynamic, but the direction is kind of clear right now in terms of their intention. And then you also got this. These were the huge one. Okay, $552 million. Again, don't want to waste too much time about this. They're all above us, but that's also a position that was basically, you can look at the 950s, you see, open interest went down. So they closed this position, and the 1050s, they opened. Now, guys, I know that a lot of what I talk about here might be a bit confusing for some if you're new to flow, but try to bear with me. It's trying to just talk fast here about as much as I can, so you can watch it a few times if you want. But yeah, I hope Discord, my people, if you guys obviously got questions, as always, we're gonna talk more in Discord, but you probably know what I'm talking about. We've been talking about it. And yeah, that's was a huge one as well, obviously, from Nvidia, another role, the kind of yeah, deeper in the money, not deep in the money, but more in the money course into September OPEX, which is a huge options expiration. A lot of sizes moving on September. A lot of sizes moving into September OPEX. So just remember September OPEX overall in the market has been a big one. And also historically, I mean, September is kind of, has been a month when weakness in the markets have shown. So yeah, it kind of goes well, right? They could hedge it a bit before, a bit after. Definitely something to watch in Q3 of this year. All right, so that's Nvidia. We're in distribution, in my opinion. And if it goes higher, cool, they're gonna be happy because they can sell more and sell it higher. And once again, just because the company is great doesn't mean it's not a bubble. Just because the stock keeps going up, doesn't mean eventually it won't go down. And Nvidia, again, if you guys remember in 2022, everyone talked about Nvidia in 2021. And in 2022, people started talking about Nvidia going to zero. It's a scam. No one's gonna buy Nvidia. Kathy sold it, I think, like at the literally lows. But then obviously look what happened. So my take is, again, and I've said it a million times, I also wrote it and talked about it, but my take is that a bubble eventually means that as great as the company is, there is a huge difference between the stock price and the company. And that's the whole point. So that's a bit about Nvidia. I still see upside on semis, I still see upside on tech and everything. I just think that the next week or two gonna be the perfect time to watch semis. Okay, only watch semis because we're literally heading into the split on Nvidia. That's a huge event. You want to see the relationship between semis, and you just want to see if you can hold key levels. I mean, what I got here is basically the former all-time highs before the bear market. So 2021 fib retracement into the lows of 2022 bear market. The golden pocket was exactly where we reversed here in March 2023, and then that's it. Obviously claimed 0.786, gapped up above former the all-time highs from 2021, and ever since it was just a rejection in the 1.618 here, then another double top at the that's another level 950 that we had for a lot of reasons, never mind. And the two, so again, that's, I mean, and just some levels that just gives me more confirmation that it's more of the combination of which is the key. This is the key, to combine technicals with flows of the market. Anyone who thinks they can only do flows or only do technical analysis, I'm sorry, you can't. You got people outperforming the S&P 500 with only trading once every few months, and people think they can outperform, do a few hundreds of percentages every year, while aggressively day trading something like this. Some can, but not everyone. So you gotta remember that it's about the macro and watching more than you're actually doing. When you feel confident enough about a big trend, about a reversal, support being claimed, resistance being kind of respected, so that's when you want to play the trend. Not financial advice, not tax advice, obviously nothing, just some of my thoughts. Okay, so that's a bit about Nvidia. Mumbled enough about this one. I feel like we're gonna do next. Well, GDX, obviously, that's the gold miners, right? You guys know I've been talking about this for a while now. Which this one actually I'm seeing now that it's a lot of beats. Well, only 59%. You know what? Could have gotten a good feel. So we want to see what happened here. You know what? Maybe they actually bought back the short calls. Maybe they bought more. Anyways, open interest on watch. I posted on the Discord, guys. We'll watch it tomorrow and this week. But if they closed it, it's bullish. If it's a new position, it's bullish as well. You guys know what I think. I'm bullish commodities, and I like miners. I like junior miners. I just like the miners overall. We obviously, as I talked about this, if you guys remember, for years now, and then especially when we saw wild hedging through bullish spreads, the buy the freaking dip channel, right? So we touched it here. I didn't feel comfortable enough in 2022, yeah, to be fair, but this one I really liked what it did here, especially with the beginning of the melt up in end of 2023, remember? And then once we kind of touched again this channel, that was also when we saw tons of bullish flow. So yeah, really liked it. Longed a lot of miners here. I still like them. I barely even closed or took profit on some. Maybe sold calls, obviously, but in terms of commons, I still like it. That's the GDX gold miners. We obviously respected this. We also broke the downtrend beginning April 2022. So gold miners looking pretty decent to me. And if you guys want to take a quick look, you can see this is the top holdings of GDX, right? You got AEM, gold, with WPM. I hold a few of them, and the biggest one is NEM, which I'm long as well. But why doesn't it? Oh, here you go. Yeah, exactly. 11.9% is Newmont Corporation. Anyways, guys, yeah, you can see some of the names here. Again, we like a few of them, long a few of them. We watch them a lot. Gold miners, silver miners, a lot of other commodities that also see rotation inside the sector, inside commodities, soft commodities, hard commodities. Beautiful cycles playing out this year, and in my opinion, going to keep playing out this decade. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to trade and to make money on. All right, so that's that. We did Nvidia. We did. All right, I'm gonna end with a bit of possibly IWM. So IWM, small caps, which also gives us a bit of a sentiment for mid caps, just because they've been underperformance and they kind of moved together in this market. And if you guys remember, I drew this inverse head and shoulders. I think somewhere here when we were here, right? So we did get the downside. Looks good. We don't have a lot of bullish flows yet on IWM, but you guys gotta understand that usually how it works with small caps is that it moves with the rotations of the market, and then sometimes bullish flows from the market, they kind of FOMO. They're FOMOing in, so they're not going to enter. I mean, no one can time always top and bottom, right? So we're gonna see bullish flows on more downside, or if it just goes up, we'll see FOMO, and that's why I really like this. And for now, it's been playing out beautifully. So I like small caps this year. I do, still do. And that's what I'm waiting for, because I think it could also present a lot of great opportunities to play. And that also means a lot of stonks, right? We obviously saw the GME squeeze. Sorry if anyone is offended by me saying that a move of 500% in less than 2 weeks is a squeeze, but it is, yeah. Squeeze is 500%, squeeze is 5,000%. These are all squeezes. You got a lot of them. Gamma squeeze, short squeeze, liquidity squeeze. You got a lot of different squeezes. But again, this is a very interesting, obviously, stock to trade. I'm still long GME. I talked about it. I sold a lot of calls here. It was a beautiful trade. We had members that played it with calls. I didn't. I'm coward yet. I'm not longing calls on meme stocks even though I think GME is not longer a meme stock, to be honest. You got the deep value, obviously, playing for it for a lot of reasons, but you know, you could think undervalued, you could think overvalued, a lot of cases. You got MC, you got a lot of names that I'm not gonna talk about it. That are less popular as well, obviously, that are, in my opinion, gonna move big time this summer. But IWM is always gonna be kind of the more popular ETF to watch for small caps. So I still think this is gonna play out. And even if we break below the right shoulder, I think it's gonna be kind of a selling climax, a bear trap, and boom, then we could go up. And that's what I'm planning on. If we go lower, I'm a buyer. Whether shoulder, whether below it, I'll keep buying. And if we just go up and then we kind of see the bullish spreads stepping in to hedge upside, the bullish flow stepping in that looks directional, that's when I'll feel comfortable. And dark pools also gotta be pretty active on small caps, individual stocks and ETFs. And that's going to tell us that it could play out. June OPEX is the next monthly options expiration, June 21st. And that's what we want to watch, because that's basically our next big monthly options expiration. And also summertime, guys, remember, a lot of funds are taking vacations. And in my opinion, if market could really creep higher, even if we see, as I've said, right, on S&P, Nasdaq, whatever it is, if we see some more distribution on individual stocks, whatever happens with the S&P 500, but if we see some more distribution on individual stocks, I think at some point all the market's got to do is hold key levels, right? Once you hold key levels, like this was a big, you could call it supply, and then once we touch this area, I mean, it's again pretty easy to tell. You can straight out look at this, right? Touch this area on Friday, boom, pumped big time. So even if you fall, you could still see liquidity kind of favoring upside and buyers stepping in. If you go up, it's straight out hedging of options and straight out buyers stepping in and shorts covering, because again we go higher and shorts again we're wrong. And that means that summertime, when a lot of funds are relaxing, they could get squeezed big time, because even the long funds, not the long short or the short only or kind of short focused on, or anyone that's net short, all of them got short positions, especially on small caps, right? And IWM and RET, which is the Russell 2000, they got a lot of short positions just to stay hedged on their book. So they gotta hold some shorts. And that's, I mean, especially how the year, this one played out beautifully in 2024, as we kind of thought it could, and it did play out, then this could really squeeze them eventually. And they might be rushing from their pulls back to cover some shorts. So that's that. Just the look here, don't listen to what I'm saying, but kind of Russell 2000, just looking here, you see, even like this one gives you kind of a cup and handle look here. I would love to see a bit more downside, to be honest, because I don't want bulls to get more confident. That will give me more confidence as a bull. But yeah, I do feel like there's, as I've said, short term, in the next week or two, there's still some short opportunities. Possibly, by the way, on don't have a lot of time. Anyways, yeah, financials, regional banks, in my opinion, are gonna do something crazy as well. A lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff, guys. I'm still gonna be, as I've said, I'm not home right now in the US. I'm traveling, as I do every summer, but I still try to be active. Obviously, I'm on Discord every day, all day as always, but I'll try to stay active on X. But yeah, that's KRE, just the regional banking. Watch this one in June, July. Watch this one. I think this could tell us a lot about what's to come. Okay, so that's a good thing to end this video with. It's already pretty long. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. Got some value. Appreciate you guys for watching. Much love. And we're gonna have a fun summer. Let's get it. And again, I see all your likes, reposts, everything. I appreciate every one of you. And again, I'll be honest, if you just tell me that you liked it on X, I'll do more videos like this. So I do it every day on the Discord, anyways, like in 1 hour stream almost every day, recorded. So I don't mind doing for X as well, if you guys liked it. So just let me know. And that's it. Much love. Have an awesome week in the markets, and I'll see you on X. Peace out.